Hello, welcome to another Daily Digest video. I'm Merriam, and today I am playing a little bit of Standard. We saw a pretty narrow metagame at the World Championships with just Ramunap Red, Energy decks, and Blue-Black Control. And one of the decks that has been fairly popular on Magic Online to try to fight that metagame is Abzan Tokens. And this is a neat take on a similar Anointed Procession deck, but it is Esper. I'm going to really hope that at some point I get to Eternalize Champion of Wits with a Procession in play and draw 8 cards. So let's hope that happens. It is pretty far away from happening in this hand, unfortunately, with only one land. I do have 2 1-drops and 2 2-drops, though, which makes this one somewhat tempting, but being on the play... Also, maybe if I guess, yeah, if I can get a second land with the priest, then I can turn this into a third land. I was pretty close to mulliganing, and then I thought about that. This is sort of like another land in my hand. How many times can I brick with this hand? Once, probably, and be okay, but then I'm kind of rough to any interaction. I still think I'll mulligan. Excuse me. Another one-lander. This one's a little bit more acceptable just because I have 2 colors of mana already, and the pushes, as far as 1-drops relative to Legion's Landing and Sacred Cat, are better because they can force the game to go longer. So on 6, I think I will keep this one. And I don't... I did mention that this can be another land. I'm pretty far away from being able to transform it, so I'll bottom that. Opponent was kind enough to mulligan to 6 as well. So, did they bottom? Yes. Concealed Courtyard. Okay, what are you on? Ugh. Well, that was the absolute worst possible, because now these fatal pushes are horrendous. And we did draw a land, that's nice. Does enter tapped, so less nice. The old mulligan to 4. This one's probably not going to go well. I think I'd rather get an island, because I want to play Champion of Wits pretty badly, rather than the stockpile. Stockpile is also better once I get a 3rd land, which I'll be very likely to be able to cast it. Then this is my only basic island, so any 3rd land I draw, I'll be able to cast the stockpile and then activate it. Ooh, okay. They're a blue-black Reanimator deck, so push is a little bit better. That's a good sign. I don't have to be completely despondent here. They discard 2 lands. I have a pretty mana-flooded hand, do you now? Could be a bit more defensive with the Anointer Priest, but they only have 2 power on board, and like to be able to scry, start hitting some lands that way. We're going to fall pretty far behind here. Our opponent is going to keep making land drops unless they have a whole lot more lands in their hand. Okay, another champion. I can deal with that. See what they discard off of this one. Anything spicy? No, just a couple of removal spells. Pretty bad against my deck of tokens. Okay, they have the removal spell for Priest, so they can get in. Now the question is whether I want to scry one to try to hit a land, and I think I do. If I completely brick, then yeah, I can't play Priest, but making land drops is going to be really important. Bottom any non-land, and we hit it. Perfect. Get another Priest on the battlefield, and now see if they have a 4th removal spell. And I don't think I will scry this turn because I'd rather guarantee cast Champion and dig for a land that way and then I can scry later with it. I do, in fact, have another removal spell, so not at all surprising, given that they discarded 2 to their champion. But ooh. Ooh. They are on 2 energy, so now there's some merit to... I'm going to draw first, still. ETB tap land is rough. I was going to say, my ideal here would be to champion and push the Siphoner, but... But so they're on 5 lands. I think what I'm going to do, just to keep them off resources, is pop the Evolving Wilds, push... I definitely want to push Siphoner. I don't want to risk having to draw an untapped black source off this champion. So I'm going to pop the Evolving Wilds, push Siphoner, and then I'll get to push a champion, and that'll take some pressure off of me. They're still a couple mana away from eternalizing these. I don't think I'm going to be able to really get around that. I'm just going to have to try to outgrind them later with Treasure Map and Stockpile and Champion of my own. So let's just do that. Do I get... I can't get another island. Do I get a Plains or a Swamp? I have 2 of each. I think my deck is more white heavy, so let's get a Plains. And let's... I guess we'll kill this one first. If they have some sort of Spell Pierce in their hand, then yeah, it looks like they're just F6'd, so... Okay, so now we'll scry with the Treasure Map. Not exactly sure what I'm looking for. I'm a little disappointed to have to use a push on a champion. Maybe that was too aggressive, but I'm going to start using my mana on other things. And I do have to protect my life total a little bit. Would have been nicer to just blank them. Ugh. That one's going to be hard to beat. Okay. Well, got a little punished for I think I need to bottom that. I got a little punished for using the push because now the Siphoner is back, but yeah, Stockpile is not really something I'm super interested in right now. Champion. Sure. Well, let's discard land and Stockpile. And now I can scry and flip that. I could actually cast a Stockpile here and make a 1/1 with it. That would let me block down this Siphoner. But I do also need to start pressuring this Liliana. Tough to say what I need to do here. If I don't do anything and I just sort of accept my opponent's next turn, I can then cast 2 Stockpiles, sacking 1 treasure to make a mana, and then sack another treasure to draw a card. I can make 2 1/1s on end step and start trying to build a board that way. But you know, I think I'm going to get a Stockpile down now. I think I need to start establishing a board to deal with this Liliana. See if their 2 cards are good. The issue is that even if they're bad, if they just have an untapped land, you can Eternalize Champion here. So it's not like they have bad draws in their deck right now. What? How do I get back into this game? An Anointed Procession would be a good start. I could cast that, then cast another Stockpile, and then get 4 1/1s. 2, 4, 5, 6 mana. So I'd have to draw a land to be able to Eternalize Champion. Which wouldn't even be that good. I guess rather than pressure the Liliana for now, my goal will be to deal with this. Sure. Dealing with this Liliana is going to be really tough, though. Yep, looks like they're just Eternalizing Champion. Restock their hand, make a 2/2. I'm very far behind here. Missed a few too many land drops. Let's play another Stockpile. I guess I shouldn't have done this first. I'm going to sacrifice this thing. And I'm going to Fatal Push this Eternalized Champion. And make 2 1/1s. Chart a course. Interesting. Ooh, they have they milled a Scarab God last turn, so they can return that if they want. And then like recur my Champion of Wits. Yeah, it looks like that's what they're doing. So now I've dealt with Liliana, but now I have to deal with Scarab God. Similarly difficult, but returning my Anointer Priest. Just trying to get my creatures out of the graveyard, I guess. Yeah, and they drew an 8th land. Oh, interesting that. Huh. Interesting they would play Aetherborn instead of just recurring another thing. Oh. That's just me. I should have sacked a Servo and upkeep, but I'm just dead. I don't think I'm coming back in this game at all. Never really got any traction anywhere. And what can I do about it? So, my deck does not have a good answer to the Scarab God, which is a problem. Am I supposed to have Lost Legacy it, or just ignore it with Anointed Procession going crazy? It's kind of hard to ignore that card. I think Fumigate's pretty bad. Kind of like Negate. I mean, they do have a decent number of creatures in the blue-black sort of mid-range Reanimator deck. Scarab God, Gifted Aetherborn, Champion of Wits, but countering Planeswalkers and things of that nature I think are going to be important. Maybe I want Duress instead. Is Duress better than Negate? Weird that I have so many of them. I'm supposed to bring in Harsh Scrutiny so that can nab Scarab God. It's hard to say. My entire game plan is going to try to be to get my synergies online, because that's the only way I'm going to outpower their cards. So what are the things that I can do to make my synergies work? I think that means ignoring their creatures and attacking their non-creature cards, which means I don't want Harsh Scrutiny, even though the Scarab God is a problem. And I think it means I want some combination of these. And what would those be? I think Liliana is kind of a problem, and I'd rather be able to negate it than Duress it away. So I'll just bring in the negates and I want to leave in as much of my synergies as possible. So minimal sideboarding. And I will play first. Opponent really wants to know if I'm Cedric. I have a procession, which is nice, but I don't have a lot of things to do in the early turns. I guess I can just try to find some lands and then we'll get procession down, and then I sort of start going off. I mean, these are just reasonable cards in my deck, and I have a good mix of them. So I'm going to keep. Maybe this hand's a little too slow on the draw, but that's about it. Opponent also on 7. Ooh, a turn 1 if near dead lands. Yep, that's pretty good. Maybe I'm supposed to have duress to combat their duresses. That could be a thing. They take hidden stockpile. I'll give them the information just in case I keep drawing those lands. If I draw a third copy in the next 2 turns, it could be a huge deal with getting down procession on 4, so and that information is not very relevant. Another Deadlands. They don't have a Gifted Aetherborn here. They're going to be putting themselves under a lot of pressure. Okay, well, I want to get that Siphoner off the battlefield, so I'm going to cast Start here. The question is whether I want to trade the 2 1/1s for it, and leave Finish, or just take 2 and use my next turn casting the Finish. I think I'd rather leave the Finish and just do other things with my mana here. So let's cast Start. Awkward using our token generator here before casting Procession, but we have plenty of token generators, so I'm not worried about finding those, especially with Treasure Map. And once again, I'm not going to scry on upkeep because I want to potentially draw a 4th land to cast Procession. Yeah, not surprised. I have a 2nd copy. Okay, well, now we're in a little bit of a pickle. They're going to be able to draw some cards here because we have not found a removal spell, but I'm going to get this Procession down. Maybe I can get a Scarab God down too. And then I can rebuy their Siphoner and get 2 4/4 Siphoners and have 2 energy, and then start drawing cards myself. So we're still in fine shape. They are basically 0% to remove any of our permanents, so as long as we can get them down, they should do a good job of trumping what our opponent is doing. Oh man, they have a... Okay, Charter Course, that's better. Another thing that affected the battlefield, and I'd be a little worried about falling too far behind here. But I have drawn an untapped land. I guess they could have Vraska's Contempt here to deal with the Scarab God, but I mean, what else am I going to do? I'm definitely going to cast it. If they have Vraska's Contempt, then we're in a ton of trouble, but if they do not, then we have them pretty well dominated. I will not block. Okay, their own Scarab God. This is a human, okay. So the only creature in the graveyard is their Siphoner, so I can get rid of that. Bam. 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 And now I get to scry 2, so that's kind of cool. This Fatal Push seems like a good draw. I am not going to cast it immediately because I don't want them to be able to rebuy the Siphoner. The question is whether I want the Priest. And honestly, I don't really think I do. I don't think it really does anything. So yeah, let's put that on the bottom and this on the top. Then I can draw the push. And do I attack for 5 here? If they trade Scarab Gods, and I can just push a Siphoner. And they just sort of untap and cast theirs, and I cast mine. No, I'll just leave it up. I think they're under more pressure than I am. Though they do have Vraska's Contempt, so maybe I'm better off trying to make those sorts of trades. Not sure. Surprisingly, they draw an extra card. There's 7 cards in their hands, so they should be able to do something pretty good here. But it has to be quite good. Because I'm draining them for 2 a turn as well. So their life total is under a good amount of pressure. I'm drawing extra cards. It's going to be hard for them to block down these Siphoners. It's not bad, but it's not great. How do they block when I attack with these 2 Siphoners? Do they just double block both of them and trade their 3/2/1s for my 2 4/4s? Yeah, Henny's Expertise. This is one to watch out for. I don't think they can. Yeah, I don't think they can attack me. So now they are unable to return this Siphoner. So what I'm going to do is push one of them and then return it on my upkeep. Oh, they have a negate. Good for them. Okay, well, let's, do I want to scry first or draw a card first? Normally I would want to scry first because we are able to use what we draw, but I'm drawing again after this scry. I think I'd still rather scry first. So let's put this one, and that one. And this is a start to finish, right? Yep. And a stockpile. Those both seem pretty good. I get to just make a ton of stuff. Yeah, let's just top. And pay some energy and draw these both. So now when I attack, maybe they're holding another Expertise. So if I attack with these, they just get to wipe out my tokens. That's still not a big deal. Getting a bunch of stuff in the graveyard is going to end up being better for me than it is for my opponent. So let's do it. Should have actually, yeah, I should have attacked with the Scarab God too. Did they just not block? Okay. Well, do they think maybe they can kill me? Because now they're dead on my upkeep. Interesting. I imagine they think they can kill me. If they have a contempt that they draw off that champion, and then they're going to try to, they only attack for 11. If they have contempt plus something else, that does not pair well with contempt. At least it doesn't let them attack. I imagine they're just resigned to their fate here. They're also in an awkward spot because they can't really discard creatures. I guess they could discard one now and reanimate it, but let's cast this one. They can take my other procession. I don't really need another one. I think they're just trying to look at my hand and get some information for game 3. Okay, so they're not dead. No, but they're at 1, so even if they have a Fatal Push, they're still dead. Yeah, they can't even cast Fatal Push because of Deadlands. Okay, well, they're still dead on board. But you know what? I'm going to do it the fancy way. I'm going to cast a, yes. Discard these two. Play this one. Cast this one. Kill this one. Pay this. Just get a blocker out of the way. And mush you. So, very dead. Very, very dead. Weird that they did not block on that previous turn. Maybe they had the consign, they thought they could do something, but... yeah, I'm thinking now, if they have Duress, they have both Duress and Negate in. Do I want a mix, or do I just want the more proactive one? Maybe I just want Duresses. Because taking their Duresses seems good. Also, maybe I get information about expertise and I can sort of play around it rather than having to directly answer it. What would I like to cut if I want all 4 of them? Maybe I only want 3. I think I'll just cut like a Sacred Cat. We can cut one of our sort of enable-y cards. So we'll be on the draw this game. It's possible my opponent removed their Gifted Aetherborn if we didn't see one in a fairly long game. Sand looks pretty good. Turn 1 Duress, turn 2 stuff to do. We're missing blue for champion, but we'll find it. They don't have a Duress, so that's kind of nice. That's not blue mana. It's not blue mana at all. Oh, they have Spell Pierce and Negate and Duress. They have them all. How am I supposed to play around everything? Just impossible. Yeah. I have Treasure Map. Do we have a turn 3 champion? Very happy to not see a Glensleeve Siphoner there on turn 2. That's a Scarab God, isn't it? Yeah. And a Gonti. Interesting. Play our stockpile, set up to scry next turn. If they don't leave up a counterspell or have a duress here and I get procession down, I should be able to run away with this game. I guess they could have Liliana. That would be a big deal too, because my draw has been slow to set up. Maybe not that slow, but this deck is just sort of slow to set up. They have a Gonti. That I'm generally okay with. Makes it tough for me to play around things. They could have anything. I wonder what they would like to take. Probably just a Scarab God, but scry one, please. That's awkward. It is my blue mana for champion, but it is really slow blue mana. Very slow. Honestly, I think I'm going to bottom it. I'd rather find something more immediately impactful. Well, we got more... Oh, I shouldn't have clicked that so quickly. I'll get the procession down, but there's some merit there to just taking the turn off for the Evolving Wilds, using a counter, charging up the map, and then next turn going procession, charge up map to 3, get 6 treasures, and then just sack 1 for a mana to start generating some tokens with stockpile. Yeah, we might get punished for that. I think that was a poor sequence. Maybe I probably should have just passed again, but we'll upkeep scribe this map now and hopefully find something to make some tokens and jumpstart this engine. We're not under a ton of pressure either, unless they have a Scarab God here. Well, I guess Liliana is also a thing. Yeah, Liliana reanimates Scarab God. Okay, now we are under a lot of pressure. Might be too much to overcome. Definitely don't want that one. But that was a good draw. And we get to make tokens because of this Evolving Wilds. So that gets an island. I guess we can just pass. This thing is this a zombie? No, Aetherborn Rogue. I'm at 13. This is going to get precarious. So I want to be able to kill Liliana this turn. And I think that means just trading for the champion and taking 7. But giving them more opportunities to make zombies and going to a low life total against this Scarab God is a rough proposition because I don't have the Anointed Priest. They can just drain me out even if I stabilize the battlefield. So maybe I just want to chump block. Yeah, I'm going to take a weird line and just chump this one. I think 5 tokens will be enough to be able to take this one down. Unless this gets negated. Maybe I should have done main phase, but then there's Yanni's expertise, which is a problem. Maybe not that much of a problem because it deals with much of their board too. A lot of judgment calls. I think I'm gonna do this in response because now I can't get expertise, and I don't want them to be able to draw into a negate when they otherwise wouldn't be. Okay, didn't get negated. That's good. But they can stop me from killing Liliana if they have another thing. Maybe I just needed to take 9. And they discarded 2 things that they could have done, so I assume there's something good in their hand. I'm going to scry on upkeep. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think that one's going to be good. So, sure. You make a bajillion treasures. Okay, so how do I play this? I have 3, 4, 5, 11 mana. I have 8 mana worth of things. So I can play Champion of Wits, sacrifice it to finish. Ooh, okay, now I don't even have to sacrifice it. So let's just discard some lands. Then I'll Fatal Push this token. Now I can send 5 creatures at the Liliana. So they'll have to have 2 answers to them to keep their Liliana alive. That's only 1. So I'll still attack it. If they have a Fatal Push here, then we're in rough shape. Okay, Liliana down. And we'll sacrifice these and cast this. That'll trigger this hidden stockpile. Gain 2 life. And now we sort of have the engines going. But we're only on 5 minutes on the clock, so hopefully I can get something going here. Drain me for 1. 3, so that gets them to 7, so they can rebuy this champion. Okay, they're killing my thing. That also makes sense. I will get a plains. I can rebuy my champion and get 2 4/4s and draw 8 cards, which is what I said I wanted to do. And what I probably... Oh, no, they can Scarab. Got it. My bad. I should have known that. Well, tilt. Now they get to draw a bunch of cards. So definitely not out of the woods. But we're doing a pretty good job. Really wish there should be some cast out of Vraska's Contempt in this deck. If I could just deal with this Scarab God, then taking over this game would be very easy. But in the next end step, I will gladly block this when you're tapped low, so now I can turn it on my next turn. And eternalize this. And sack for blue. And I gain a bunch of life and put these on the stack, please. Yes. Definitely discard this and probably discard this. I'm trying to make these decisions quickly. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time in this game, but let's discard this one and this one. And let's play this one and this one. And I've sacrificed a treasure already, so Let's gain some more life. Eventually, I should be able to overpower them with this other procession. Got to be careful not to... Okay, I didn't discard any creatures. I guess I didn't draw any, so... Oh, 3 minutes, okay. There's a lot to keep track of right now to try to make all my decisions and talk and win this game within 3 minutes. So, hopefully I can do it. I think I'll be able to set up an attack where I double finish on a turn after making a bajillion tokens. But I'm not going to be able to beat probably a Yeheni's expertise. At least not that well. So let's play this. Sacrificing one of the treasures, so the stockpile will trigger. And let's play this. And pass the turn again. I have 5 servos. Now I'm going to get 4 more. I might be pretty close to it. Yeah, they're digging for expertise, which is going to be pretty good. But not actually that devastating because I have the 2 big champions myself. If they can find some like pushes and stuff for those as well, that'll also be really good. I also have this start to finish, and I'm gaining a bunch of life, so... So I have 9, 13, 14 1-power things, and 2 4-power things. Oh, these are zombies too, so I'm actually getting drained every turn. Wow. Magic is very, very hard. Are these not? Did I not get drained? Did I go up to 12? Well, I'm casting this, so if you have the expertise now, then it's going to be really good. I'm going to try to F6 through these and then F5, I guess. No, I'm just going to F6. I'm not going to sack anything to stockpile. Can they they do have enough mana to expertise and rebuy my... Oh, jeez. That is a lot of energy. 23 to be precise. I don't think I'm going to have time now to... I was pretty close to killing them on my next turn, I think. It was either... It was 1 or 2 turns was all I was going to need. I am going to block these down so I stop getting drained. The good news is I can kill this demon. I have a bunch of sacred cats that I can embalm from my graveyard and then sack them to finishes. Oh, man. They still have more champions. I think they have all their champions in their graveyard. This would be a... Wow. So this is a tough deck to have to play 50-minute rounds with. I imagine the matchups against Temur go really long as well. Maybe I'm not supposed to... I'm probably not supposed to block there. I forgot I was at 18. I'd gained so much life over the last 3 turns. Just so much to keep track of here. I'm sure my opponent is very confused right now. I guess it doesn't matter that much, actually. Like on my big attack, those are going to get blocked out anyway. And it stops this drain, because these are zombies. Yeah, so it probably actually is right. Just stopping this, which is a pretty big impediment to my plan of build a big board and kill you in 1 or 2 swings. I guess I can't even. I can't really kill this because of. Yeah. Okay. Well, good thing I remembered that. The Scarab God is makes killing this not a good plan. So I guess we have to hold off on that and hope to gain enough life to not die in the air. Yeah. I don't think that'll be that hard. We're gaining at least 4 life a turn, right? Or yeah. So that shouldn't be too difficult. Our opponent is using a good bit of their time too. Maybe we can catch up here from our huge deficit and time them out. Wouldn't that be a sight? I did accomplish my goal for the match though, which was to eternalize Champion of Wits with Anointed Procession on the battlefield. If I could find my own copy of the Scarab God, then maybe I can get them. And this is all creatures though. I don't really want to return mine, but I guess I can kill their Scarab God and then reanimate it, sacrifice mine to the legend rule, and be the only one, but then they can, and then have to kill their demon too, all in the same turn. That's a tough ask. What are they doing now? No, no. Yeah, you get a million more energy. Ooh, Anointer Priest. Yep, that seems fine. And a bomb. And always yield. And a bomb. Always yield. Do I want to kill anything? I don't think so. I guess I should have sacked one of these to pay for something instead, but I'll make 3 more tokens. Oh, I'm at 42. Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for them to kill me. I now have 14 creatures in play. And I'm making 4 a turn, so maybe 3 or 4 turns, but they have a bunch of cards left. Yeah, I'll take 5. Okay, I'm just going to F6 to save time. I would like to hold up Hidden Stockpile, but with 2 minutes left. If they Henny's Expertise me, then I'll probably just concede. They'll have too much at that point. I'll have basically nothing. Even rebuilding will be tough. I guess I'll just get to embalm these. But I probably won't be able to win in time at that point. Dress is not very good, but that's second for a black and dress you. Negate, that's fine. And make 4 more tokens. They have 1 more champion left. And then and a gifted Aetherborn. 2 gifted Aetherborns. Those will be tough to get through too when they make them 4/4s. Let's bring their graveyard up. Discard 2 Deadlands. That makes sense. Gain 8 life. Sweet deck. Drain me. I'm not going to pay attention to what they do with these scries. Man, there is so much to pay attention to. It is remarkable. What just happened? Just exile an Anointed Priest while I was, yeah. See, me trying to win this game in time is gonna mess me up a bit. I would have sacrificed that for sure, denied them 2 life, let me... I guess they would have just recurred it, but... I would have at least gotten a scry out of it. 4, 8, 12, 16, 17... Jeez. Well then, yeah, using your own removal spell. That is definitely a thing. Let's kill one of these things. Sacrifice this. I'm behind 2 minutes. I think it's going to be tough for me to catch up. Eventually, oh, come on, don't make me declare tax. Make 8 tokens. Yeah, you just end up killing them all. Pretty good. It's still... I guess if they have another removal spell here to answer the Anointer Priest. Because otherwise I can... oh no, if they leave 4 mana up, or the 3 mana up actually, I can't finish and then embalm the priest, because they can return it in response. So I might just be dead here. This was just... okay, they can just exile it. This was just a game that was impossible to play in time. And you see where I was just behind early, because it takes me time to explain things to all of you. And if we were playing more of a regular match, I could have taken a bit more time and been in, I think, better shape. Although, if I'm in better shape from this point, we probably just don't even finish this match in time. And now they have a Liliana. The big issue here was that I just didn't have an answer to the Scarab God. If I had an answer to that for any of the last 15 turns or something, I don't think I come close to losing. Oh, that thing, yeah, still has CMC 3. Instead, I'm actually going to be dead in time. Yeah, and if I was playing this match just by myself, I probably would have had more time and would have been in a better spot. Maybe I timed them out. As is, what they're attacking for 17 here. Yeah, so I'm probably just dead on their turn. Impressive showing from that deck, and just shows you how powerful the Scarab God is. But, I mean, it's impossible for me to be able to... yeah, and there's mine. To think through all the lines and... can I... Well, let's play this. Sacrifice it to an... Oh no, I'm just dead in the air. Okay. Well, I'm dead. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just impossible to play that game, essentially. Play that match. If I had infinite time and we both had 2 hours to play it, and I could slow down and explain all the stuff and go through the million things to try to keep track of. It was still a super fun game. And really, it came down to, as I said, not being able to answer the Scarab God there. And that card just sat in play, prevented me from getting really aggressive in certain spots. And if I just had a Contempt or a Cast Out at some point, I think I could run away with that game pretty easily. Especially because I can recover from the demon and then kill the demon with a start to finish. And start probably getting pretty aggressive at that point because they wouldn't have had many creatures. So unfortunate there. The deck is just really, really complicated. So a deck that you definitely want to put in your reps with and have your mechanics well practiced. to make sure you finish matches consistently in a tournament. Also, bring correct tokens. Nothing bothers me more than people that don't have tokens, especially when you're playing a token deck. Do it. Just be a reasonable person. Come prepared with all of the things you need to play. Anyway, hope you enjoyed watching that one, and you can come back and see me on Monday. Bye.